Donald Trump apparently cannot make up his mind about what happened during January 6th. Of course, that was when his supporters decided to storm the Capitol and engage in riots that injured people, that caused all sorts of damage. Many people have been arrested and are facing serious prison sentences as a result of that. And he has gone from calling these rioters patriots, then referring to them as low class, and then great people. So he can't make up his mind. Now he's come up with a conspiracy theory, which I'm sure is inspired by Tucker Carlson. Let's watch.
We're seeing Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan start to show that the FBI had some involvement in January 6th. We're urging supporters to go toward the Capitol building. What is your assessment as you're watching more and more of this information come out?
You know, the insurrection was November 3rd, the election day. This was a protest about a rigged election. And the people that were there was great love in the air. I'm not talking about the Capitol, I'm talking about the speech. I think it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before, and I've spoken to very big crowds. And some walked down, I think it was intended to be very peaceful, to the Capitol. But why aren't they finding this pipe bomber? And how come other people haven't been revealed? Because I think that we're more than just, let's call them MAGA people.
Well, there were FBI informants.
Well,
there's some images, and they said, go to the Capitol, and those individuals were not arrested, and they're on the screen.
Right, it seems like that. And you have BLM, and you had Antifa people. I have very little doubt about that, and they were antagonizing, and they were agitating.
You know who told them to go to the Capitol? Donald Trump. In the speech that he gave right before they went over to the Capitol and rioted. Donald Trump did that. So according to Candace Owens, Donald Trump should be arrested, right? Donald Trump should face some serious consequences for urging them to march over to the Capitol. And my favorite part about that, by the way, was that he said he was gonna go with them. But then immediately afterwards, he turned his butt around, went to the White House, sat his ass down and watched the riots unfold. And didn't do a damn thing about it for a whopping 187 minutes. It's just, it's amazing. But who knows, Waz, maybe he's got a point. Maybe it was actually Black Lives Matter that stormed the Capitol that day.
You know, the funny thing is, if Donald Trump actually cared about peddling an FBI conspiracy, he could credibly do it. We're talking about Black Panthers, oftentimes the craziest, most lunatic people that infiltrated the group were cops, were FBI agents. Numerous stories of them just inventing quote unquote terrorist cells out of thin air and having people arrested, basically turning people into quote unquote, jihadists, terrorists. Like the FBI's actually done this. This is documented that this is in the FBI's history. But Donald Trump he doesn't actually mean this. It's just another one of his dodges. And quite frankly, his people don't actually need elaborate explanations for things or logical explanations for things. He just has to breathe them into a mic and they will believe it no matter how farcical or ridiculous his claims are.
Yeah, and look, unfortunately, he gets a lot of help. Well, first, let me back up a little bit because just yesterday we shared a story regarding Donald Trump's statement about, first of all, January 6th. He's planning on giving a press conference on the 1-year anniversary of the riots, which I'm sure it's gonna work out real well. Really looking forward to that. But in that statement, he also said, everyone likes to talk about what happened on January 6th, but no one wants to address what my supporters were protesting that day. I'm paraphrasing, but he's essentially saying, first of all, he's justifying what they did while also simultaneously fully acknowledging that the rioters were his supporters. So it's just amazing how that happened yesterday. And now we're hearing this like conspiracy theory, which again, he's parroting what Tucker Carlson has said on his show. But what's also unfortunate is Donald Trump gets a lot of help in spreading these ridiculous messages from people who, at one point I didn't think were as unhinged. And so I did not know about this, but apparently Joe Rogan has floated similar conspiracy theories himself on his own podcast. Let's watch.
You're telling me the FBI is not monitoring fringe groups and they were not aware that these people are this organized. Out of nowhere, they pop out with the same size flags and the same outfit on, goose stepping. They're walking, not goose stepping, but walking in this at the same pace in an orderly line. Like who organized this?
This is them.
These guys. Look at these guys. Where's the fat people? How come they're all wearing the same clothes? Do that again. What the is this? Is that? Have you ever seen anything that looks more like Feds? Tell me that doesn't look like Feds, right?
It's like the 101st Airborne.
Bro, look at this. These guys are all runners. These guys look like they just got out of buds.
I mean, look,
out of here.
They could be real.
Right, they could be real.
They could be real.
Listen, Matt Taibbi, I'm an unreliable source, and I'm a comedian. But looking at that, I'm calling bull.
Nice. Yeah, because Capitol rioters who happen to be Trump supporters all of them have to be fat. What was that? Like, what was that? And then Matt Taibbi, who was like, during the economic collapse in 2008, his reporting on the financial industry was amazing. And now he's devolved into like a conspiracy enabler. What was that? That was embarrassing. But no, if you're a Capitol rioter / Trump supporter, you have to be fat, because if you're not, you're the feds, obviously. Big brains.
Well, to be fair to our friend Joe, if you've ever seen a Trump rally, I mean, he's not exactly completely wrong there. And I mean, if we're gonna be, we gotta be at least a little charitable to his cockamamie theory. Like, these people aren't always the most felt in shape people. I for one, I'm not mad at it. Obviously, it's harebrained and kooky, but it's not the most ridiculous thing Joe Rogan's ever said.
I mean, that does not speak highly of Joe Rogan. He wasn't always like this, right? I've been on his podcast years and years ago, twice. Super reasonable guy back then. I don't know what happened. Okay, whatever. But I mean, there are a lot of people who fall under that what happened category, including Matt Taibbi, unfortunately. But it is what it is. People are gonna believe the conspiracy theories they wanna believe. Of course, right wingers are gonna wanna deflect or pass the blame on whatever group they don't like. But let's just keep it real, okay? Trump supporters stormed the Capitol that day, engaged in a riot because they didn't like the results of our democratic process. That's what happened that day. And a lot of them are either facing lengthy prison sentences now or have already been given lengthy prison sentences. So anyone who happens to be a Trump supporter who thinks like, no, this behavior is totally okay, understand that the actual elites, the people in positions of power who encourage you, who goad you, tell you to do things like this, they don't face any consequences, but you will. And honestly, no one's coming to your rescue. Trump didn't pardon a damn rioter, not a damn person. Didn't look out for a damn person, didn't help with their legal defense, nothing. Because they're all pawns, they're all used by Trump, just like most elitists and people in positions of power. These supporters are disposable to Trump. I just wish they realized that.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.